C3 AI pretty much blew away the shorts, with its Department of Defense win. Daniel, what's
pretty interesting. This is pretty interesting. So just the other night, I got an alert that basically showed a press release that came up from C3 saying they'd won a $500 million DoD contract. And so, I've had Tom Siebel on my Making Markets podcast before. Tom is the CEO. He's kind of he's a fairly well-known entity from Siebel Systems back in the day. And he started C3 AI, and the whole idea here is really a business that's 100% leaning in on enterprise AI. So you're talking about applications for oil and gas. You're talking about smart grid, smart city. We're talking about financial institutions and healthcare. Very, very specialized, high-end. This is a company that's had a number of partnerships. They've done with Google Cloud. They've had partnerships with Microsoft. They're working with ERP providers like Infor, NCS. Also, even working with cloud data platform Snowflake. So this is a company that's doing interesting things, has a number of interesting partnerships. But having said that, is a little bit slow growth in terms of, they went IPO this year. The stock came out at about around 50. It shot into the hundreds and has recently fallen all the way back into the 20s as growth, again, has been slaughtered. And this company had almost 15 to 18% short interest. And the market has just loved battering this thing. In its growth, it's mostly a company that adds a handful, 20, 30 customers on a quarterly basis. And these customers are spending millions. So these are not small deals. These are big deals, but it's an area that's maturing a little bit at a slower pace in terms of consumption. It's not happening as fast as like an AWS or a Google where you got lots of people swiping credit cards. These are big, complex deals. So this, for example, though, is a deal that was probably going to be the largest so far. And as I see it, when you have an opportunity to validate yourself with U.S. government, a Department of Defense that says, we want to partner with you for your technology, okay, to basically help us accelerate our AI capabilities in the defense space, in my opinion, that was a huge win for the company. And by the way, the stock shot up double-digit % the minute it happened, and shorts had to start covering. And that's why I said stuns the shorts, because literally they've been taking this thing down since IPO. It went up to like 100. They've taken it down 70%, just absolutely battering it. Even though the company's been hitting its targets and hitting its growth, it just hasn't been able to grow fast enough. So, what I basically say here is Tom Siebel came out trying to establish a marketplace and kind of put a definition around what is enterprise AI. And so enterprise is never as sexy as consumer. We think a lot about AI. We think about Alexa, and we think about, intelligent apps and gaming but this is the kind of AI that enables 1 trillion data points to be utilized to determine when a Colombian cartel might be using money laundering tactics or fraud in banking, and when tens of thousands of credit cards are being swiped at the same time. This is the kind of technology that can help companies identify that and hopefully in the future more effectively and efficaciously. Is that a word?
It is now.
So, we've heard efficacy a lot throughout the pandemic. Well, we need efficacy with our technology. So good win for Tom Siebel. Just good one to fit in a week here, Pat, because it's always good to see companies that have been kind of taking it across the chin, be able to hit one out of the park.
Yeah, this one really piqued my interest, Daniel, because I would have expected a company like Palantir or one of Joe Lonsdale 8VC companies win something like this, or for that matter, Azure, right? So super interesting to me, and might make me actually go research the company more. Because when I think enterprise AI, I totally get it, right? Because if you look at most of the AI out there, it's focused on consumer market, and getting to applied AI for enterprise has been super tough. I would say primarily those companies weren't able to afford it, or their partners weren't capable of actually doing it, or they just didn't have enough data out there. So DoD win by enterprise AI company C3 AI, very interesting, beating out companies like a Palantir.